It's not so easy to give a talk, because I have to say something. Is this a live talk or dead one, or are these live words or dead words? Is this alive or dead? Most people are afraid of doing wrong. Doing wrong, being wrong, being in the wrong way in eyes of others. Two voices. One voice judging, touching and telling how bad I am. Failure. And one voice, maybe from the different source, is trying to whisper that you are all right. You are all right, just as you are. So that's very, very, very human. We ordinary people, we are having those conversations sometimes. Some people more, some people less often. Either you are completely failure and you don't even believe that you are anything, any good, or you are somewhere there in between. So how could we be free from that? Free from doubts, self-doubts. Okay, if you do mistake, do it completely, all the way, boom. That will free you, even if you are in prison. Wonderful failure, as it says somewhere, maybe in some Zen text, or wonderful failure. It's wonderful because it makes us free. It's painful because it hurts. But then it's more easy. I was some reason was thinking this kind of example came to my mind, that about this judging and being accepted and okay, and on the other hand being wrong. So maybe today, at least if you live in a bigger cities, we all probably know people, someone who has hid her orientation, sexual orientation or identity, and so. Maybe we have seen this kind of struggle from the side. And that inner fight has, of course, caused a lot of sorrow and eaten this life, because the way you are, you cannot, because you, for different reasons, it doesn't feel that it's possible. But since nowadays it's not crime at least, and so on, more people are working on that field and being what they are. Which is of course excellent thing. Because different kind of voices telling that you are wrong. It's not just only some nasty voice in your head, it can cause much bigger problems. People will kill themselves because they feel wrong. They have serious mental issues, or they're deeply unhappy. So, I believe that whatever we are, it's not so bad to look at that, stay in front of the facts and take it as it is. And in this Sangha, we have actually quite a few people that are part of this minority group, so I think it's a great thing, and I see it as a happy, positive. For some reason this is how it is, and it's good. Of course we all are part of different little minority groups. We could, at least the smallest one is ego, myself. There's only one member. Sometimes people are criticizing Zen practice, that you can pass by, or you can kind of go around your dark spots and go deep into some sort of openings and be free, and then in the shadows you still carry on a lot of shit that will hit the fan one day. And who will clean that? So I am not an expert in any fields, but I'm not quite sure that we should do this Zen practice. This is just my little tiny personal opinion, but not too much psychological working. Same time when we are, it's a different story. Maybe we could have them a little bit like when we do Zen practice, let it be quite straightforward Zen practice. But then on the other hand, and still, yes, I don't know, but maybe it is possible to go quite far and deep in one's practice, and still there are those issues that you really have to face one day anyway. So maybe maybe it's not completely bad idea to, while we are going deeper in practice, we can also like see what it is, what we are, and a little bit work with that too, of course. Accepting. I believe that the actually at the end that's the only way that matters. I mean that if there are hindrances we don't want to face, it's hard to believe that we are really free. So, but how can we ever be at ease, at peace? Now few days we've been sitting on Safu several hours every day, some people more during nights and free times as well. Sometimes yasa and those things are difficult to do. You're too tired, or I always start to itch when I should sit zazen. Not always, I mean yasa. But sometimes it works very well. But always it's a little bit of fight before it starts to flow more easily. No, not always a little bit of fight, but it could be so. So I mean it's not easy always to sit on Zafu. It's not easy to concentrate again and again when you think maybe nothing is happening, or but if you do again and again, it will carry on. Suddenly it just works. And every time when you go over some hindrances, you become a little bit free, more free. You become a little bit closer of what it is. There's a little bit more space around. It's a little bit more simple. It is very Safu. We are sitting on this very body on top of this Safu. Is body of the Buddha, after all. There was very, usually don't say anything like this because this is nothing special. I say only special things. But it was, it's just a leaf falling from the tree today. I just happened to stand and breathing there, and then this what is it, maple leaf was there in a few meters away, and I almost could hear how it snapped when it started to fall before, and it was just falling. So simple. Just falling. It is like the breath. It could be like this practice. When it's time to inhale, you inhale. When it's time to exhale, you exhale. This Zazen Vasan we read before Teisho every time. It is said from the very beginning, all beings are Buddha. And that's what we say every time we read that text. We recite every time we say, very beginning, from the very beginning, all beings are Buddha. So how they can suddenly not? And then we are afraid that we are wrong, that we are doing wrong, we are being wrong. In many Zen koans, this is a central question, of course, about what is Buddha. And it's so difficult to let words go. That's why I said it's difficult to give talks, because words are so sticky. Yeah, in the best scenario, they just run through our heads and ears and the other ear, and nothing is too much stuck. And when we do practice, when we sit down, and when something starts to happen, we so quickly start to put words, taping comments and analyzing what's going on. It just happens. Fundamentally, words, of course, nothing special. They are like butterflies. What is Buddha? Quite often, people can say in Doksan, mind is Buddha. So mind is Buddha. Okay. Then what is mind? Then maybe we say, yeah, it's Buddha. Buddha is mind. Mind is Buddha. So what's the problem? So maybe because of this, Taipei once asked Baso, what is Buddha? Baso answered, this very mind is Buddha. What about that koan then? Because we are so afraid of being wrong and doing wrong. Then it was another occasion where somebody asked the master, Zen teacher there, what is Buddha? And this monk answered, kansikets, which is, in English we have at least one translation that says shit wiping stick. So, sort of a toilet paper of an old, from the old days, before any paper were used for that purpose. So what about that? Shit hits the stick. We like to see how maple leaf falls down, but we don't want to see kansikets sticking out somewhere. And actually you can use this maple leaf for same purpose. But this question, what is Buddha? What is the work we are doing here? And why? Perhaps everybody has sometimes felt during Sesshin that you suddenly see this everything from outside. And you maybe laugh or you cry and you wonder what is going on here. Am I one of these people? Why I am wearing a robe? What has happened? suddenly we see this like from the distance. And that's not actually a very bad thing necessarily. Suddenly we see fresh eyes, fresh eyes. I remember seeing in Sengården this, it was the Sendo, and I saw it like an beautiful, kind of mystical, secret, special, of course, something so much Zen and it was so. And then I suddenly saw it like old school and gymnastic, sport room. And I was so amazed. Whoa, this is like old school and this is just a normal room. And now we have made this like that. And it was so beautiful experience actually. That all those stories about some special room and all those things that I thought that are real, they suddenly disappeared. And I think it was just maybe a couple of Doksan later that I went through first koan. It doesn't matter so much necessarily to go through first koan. That's not special thing necessarily at all. But I just mean that suddenly there was this fresh place where I was all the time. I were there all day long, but I was in some sort of some other place in my mind. But if you see this fresh, if you see how it's just now born, it's very close how we see ordinary life, except that then we usually start to add so many layers of ideas and words, stories, voices telling this and that. So we lose it before we even have time to say cat. Maybe we see little glimpse, just something very normal, sort of normal, we could say, or super normal. This mind, this very mind is Buddha. I promised to try to answer for one question yesterday, so I try to keep my word. And so someone asked, just like a very, in a very good way and simple way, that how we have, how this Sazen has, do we have rights, oh, is that real English, to do this? So we are just privileged people sitting here on our safus and doing nothing very much. Maybe some people are fantasizing something wonderful. But otherwise we are not doing so much. And we know how this world is. Turmoils and catastrophes, one after another. People are starving, people are sick, people are poor, people are homeless. It's really not so healthy place always, this Earth planet. Because of our ignorance, because of our hate, and we are greedy. It's so simple. We do a lot of harm. Every day, all day. Because we are so selfish. Because we are so stuck within this limited, ego-centered worldview. So I actually answered for this question, I guess. Yeah. So I do believe that, on the other hand, of course, we should go around and help if we can, if that's something that we can do, and it's a good idea to work for the better world. Then again, since we are not separated, if person can see one's own perfect Buddha already from the very beginning, we also see that even though shit hits the fan here and there, people are dying and calamities and everything is going wrong, we could still say, which sounds so strange, but every day is a good day. And I still believe that if we see that enough, we do make the world a little bit better place to live. So I think this is so rare opportunity. This is so rare opportunity to sit like this. We can call it a privilege, and that's what it is indeed. It's the privilege to try to let go all those burdens that people are carrying on. Trying to see through all these unnecessary judgments. Trying to become simple, trying to find out who and what we truly are. Just have one breath, nothing else. That's very simple, and that's very privileged to do that. And if even one of us could breathe just one breath at a time and nothing else, that would change the world. Sounds like a good words to end. Taibai once asked Baso, "What is Buddha?" Baso answered, "This very mind is Buddha." This one breath is not an opinion. It's not a judgment. It's not a story, it's not a fantasy. One breath is not nothing, it has no name. And that's only we have. That's the only thing we have. No opinions, no names. May all beings attain the Buddha way.